Ajay Sunder, Senior Director at Frost & Sullivan, joins me right here on SGX, and our guest host, Andrew Sullivan, is over in Hong Kong. Very nice to see you. So it was supposed to be, the Apple thing was supposed to be pumped up as the biggest iPad announcement by a large margin, according to Tim Cook. Do you think they met expectations?
Also, they met expectations, but the challenge with Apple is that there's so much hype around Apple events that even if they met expectations, it ends up in disappointment.
Yeah, so what does that really mean? The stock dropped, and now but earlier we were hearing that their margins are going to be looking pretty good. Their gross margins will be good, especially for the cheaper models.
Well, we all know that from a tablet perspective, Apple's margins are pretty healthy. And I mean, if we talk about their product lines, tablets are very healthy margins overall. Even if we talk about the current product lines, right, both the products are really good in the sense that, you know, we're expecting lighter iPad version. The iPad Air is definitely lives up to that expectations, 20% lighter, 28% thinner. But the challenge with Apple is now we are making it lighter, faster, but we're not seeing as many innovative product lines, especially with competition catching up in a big way. We have seen Google, we have recently seen Nokia announcing new product lines, we have seen Amazon coming up with new Kindle tablets. So all this is really creating competition. And Apple, I mean, for all said and done, Apple created the segment called tablets. But now we're increasingly seeing more and more of these competitors eating away into that pie. And that's going to be a challenge for Apple.
Yeah. So what about you, Andrew? Are you much of a techie? I mean, I've got them all. A BlackBerry, a Galaxy, a MacBook Pro. I've got them all. But certainly, I wonder how you stand on this one.
Well, yes, I mean, I think they've done an excellent marketing job, and obviously everybody knows that brand name. But as we're saying, yeah, it's really the next innovation, and obviously people are still looking forward to the Apple TV, the Apple Watch, things like this. You know, where are they going to take it the next step? Because, you know, once you've got one, once you've got your iPad...
News left in US bond yields as well. Like Donald was saying...
Senior Director at the tech consultancy Frost & Sullivan. He joins us from the desk here at the SGX. Ajay, good to see you and welcome back. What do you make of the Samsung numbers?
The numbers look quite healthy, in line with the guidance, 57.5 trillion, which is very much quite positive. And also from overall smartphone sales perspective, what's healthy is, I mean, Samsung Galaxy S4, it's much better what we're expecting. So overall numbers around 74 million and Samsung still says around 75 million, so that's also quite healthy. So all in all, I think from a smartphone sales perspective, it's quite healthy. And the other thing which I just like to highlight is it's not just smartphone, though the smartphone unit still accounts for 74% out of their operating profit. Even the other two main divisions, which is the chip as well as the display units, have shown healthy progress.
Are you seeing enough, Ajay, on the innovation pipeline from Samsung to give you confidence about the next revenue driver?
Definitely. I mean, from innovation perspective, there are a lot of things on the card which Samsung is focusing on. From a display perspective, for example, they full focus on OLEDs and flexible display, which will have impact sometime in the future, even on the smartphone business. So these are innovations which I think they are focusing on, which will have an overall impact and which will drive some form of innovations around smartphones as well as displays devices in the very near future.
Sherry, come in on this.
Ajay, hi, this is Sherry. And so you said in your note that it's important for Samsung to focus on new models, maybe lower end, but that can actually hurt its brand image as an innovator or a premium smartphone maker, and also that can hurt its margins, which is actually a problem that's hurting LG Electronics these days. What do you say to that?
You're right in that, Jerry, and I think that's where Samsung needs to play it a bit smarter, which I think they're trying to do with their whole focus on the new Tizen operating system with a tie-up with Intel. I think what the strategy moving forward would be to use that to target the lower-end, smartphones, the economies of India, China, to come up with new models which doesn't cannibalize their Android models, the Galaxies and the Notes. But it will be interesting to see how that spans out. But yeah, I would expect the Tizen operating system to focus on these lower-end economies, the lower-end smartphones, and not to cannibalize on the higher-end Android phones.
And we're also expecting a new iPhone in the second half of this year. How much of a competition would that be for Samsung? What are you expecting out of Apple this time?
Well, it's still to be seen what Apple comes up with a new model. But I think Samsung is ready with the Galaxy Note, and they're already announced Samsung Galaxy Active as a competitor to that launch. So it will be interesting to see what the product specifications for those new models will be.
Ajay, can you give us some insights on how companies like Samsung are positioning themselves ahead of a major sporting event like the World Cup next year in Brazil and then the Olympics in 2016? How do they start to try to pick up sales and try to generate some momentum on the back of those major